And here it is. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to more. Here it is. It is here again. So I am in situation and I need you to be here to participate. The session has commenced and your company is required. That afternoon slot that we've now tried to keep up with, even though we don't often succeed, we succeed this time around. Come succeed with us. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Only water, water, only water, where they see ma. Water, 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 water. Only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Ilé sọ́dí àkẹ́kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Chief Faila ti kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùdóde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní rí wà gbéṣe o.
And there you heard it from the care guides. That's the prayer we always start off with. We pray for the continued health of all of ourselves. So that is what we pray for. As guys, I bring you this. 2023 presidency. Arewa Forum demands medical evidence on Tinubu. So that, of course, has to be the first port of call. There's just such a plethora of issues with this Tinubu candidature. Just so many issues. He is a Muslim. So Nigeria traditionally, they recoil, and especially in this upcoming election, people are recoiling and they would categorically not accept a Muslim ticket. So Tinubu being a Muslim from the south, that presents its own problem because the northerners will not accept some lily-livered Christian to represent their interest. They want a hardcore Fulani Muslim to stand either as president or vice. So that's already an issue for him. The avalanche of corruption allegations and court cases going back as far back as 1998. This is another issue that this guy is contending with. But one of the key issues that he is contending with, of course, is his health condition. He stumbles his words, he fumbles on his feet, he quivers at the lips, and his hands are forever frantically shaking. So this is a man that is not well. No one knows his age as well because a lot of people are of the thought that is significantly older than he is. So just too much issues with this guy. One of the foremost issues, our 2023 presidency, Arewa Forum demands medical evidence on Tinubu. So to that, and then from that to this, 2023, IBB speaks on its choice of candidates to emerge as the next president of Nigeria. So, who is our IBB championing and gunning for? Is the question. But excuse me, but quickly we go back to Tinobu, and the problems do not end, or the issues, or the controversy, or the mystery, or the lack of solidity to this guy. What am I talking about? Kanuri origins of Tinubu family. So he might not necessarily even be a southern candidate, he might well be a northern candidate, this Tinubu character. According to new information emerging into space, Kanuri origins of Tinubu family. So the aboki called Tinobu now is the thing that we're having to almost have to conjure with, depending on what that piece brings us. What this next piece brings us, Obi Kubana has case to answer, says NDLEA source. So NDLEA source, of course, the NDLEA, the drug agency, and Obi Kubana, who famously a lot of people refer to as voodoo money. So voodoo money come, that's C-U-M, voodoo money come drug money now, essentially, because this guy that's just suddenly landed into space, flashing money and throwing money in the air, Olowo Ojiji, as we say in Yoruba land, sudden money, Obi Kubana has case to answer, says NDLEA source. So quite what that case is, we'll find out just in the soonest stuff. So we land on this. Insecurity, Buhari hopes on God, says he has done his best. So if his best is presently what is obtaining in Nigeria, then that tells you the totality of everything. There's one thing and one thing alone that could have justified Buhari's presidency. Nobody intended or expected any intelligence from him. He's an unintelligent man. Nobody expected any blue sky thinking from this parochial, pastoral, tribal warlord. Nobody had that expectation from him. Nobody even expected any much of an inclusiveness, but we did not expect him to be this clannish as he was. Nobody had any expectation of Buhari other than just to tackle the insecurity space, because he sells himself as a no-nonsense military man and he's built his reputation of that, but having taken over now from just a zoology doctorate guy who was managing the security situation in the country, this guy has now totally collapsed the security situation in the country to now make Nigeria essentially a basket case. The Aboki from Daura throws his hands up in surrender. Insecurity, Buhari hopes on God, says he has done his best. So that in contention too. So plenty to go through. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, chill out. We come in via what is tradition, the Eastern Quarter. We come in via what is tradition, the Eastern Quarters, and what is coming, the Python dance.
Do I fall? O Mary, Hallelujah. Abakare, Mama Daora, Ulapuri Mary Nandi, win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Ulapuri Mary Nandi, win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance 3, Unapoli Mary Nande bu onye du aimo, o Mary Wonelizu Biro ya, Abakare, Mamanda Hora, Unapoli Mary Nande win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, and Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nandi.
And there you heard it. Nnamdi wins the war. Python dancing, Python dancing. They say the Python dance is free. Nnamdi is win the war. So Nnamdi is win the war. As guys, I bring you this. 2023 presidency Arewa Forum demands medical evidence on Tinubu. Arewa Consultative Forum ACF has urged Nigerians Arewa Consultative Forum ACF has urged Nigerians with convincing medical evidence of Bola Tinubu, a presidential aspirant, to speak out. ACF said Nigerians with Tinubu's medical evidence should come out and show that he is not fit to contest the presidency on health grounds. Spokesman of ACF, Emmanuel Yahweh, said the national leader of the All Progressive Congress APC should not be allowed to run for the presidency without providing his medical evidence. The APC national leader on Monday hinted on vying for the highest political office in the country. The former Lagos state governor informed President Muhammad Buhari of his lifelong dream, which is to run for the presidency. However, Yahweh said Nigerians must be saved from the agony of having a president with health challenges. In a statement, Yahweh said, if people have issues or evidence about his, Tinubu's health, let them come out and speak. Let them provide evidence that is not strong enough to contest for the presidency or hold the office. The people who have the evidence that Tinubu is not strong enough for the office of presidency should save us the agony of having a sick president in office. They should speak out. The ACF spokesman pointed out the late former President Umar the ACF spokesman pointed out the late former President Umaru Yar'Adua, who was sick and died in office, created a constitutional crisis. So, if we know that somebody is sick, we should not allow him to take over that office. It is a serious office that will determine the future of millions of citizens. In a complex country like Nigeria, we should not allow somebody that is not medically fit to occupy such an office and mess us all up. President Muhammad Buhari is always traveling. President Muhammad Buhari is always traveling abroad for medical attention, and Nigerians would be organizing demonstrations to force him back home. It was really embarrassing. We should not allow such a thing to happen again, Yahweh said. Last year, Tinubu had spent months abroad after he had surgery. Whilst recuperating, Buhari visited him in London. So there it is right there, setting aside the hypocrisy because they foisted upon us a man that was actually factually terminally ill. It's only the wealth of Nigeria that saved this guy, Malam Buhari, of course, who spent the good at least 30% of his administration convalescing and recovering from just the plethora of medical challenges. Dementia, hallucination, ear infection. You know how ear infection just penetrates, especially with the elderly. It's just, you see how he walks even. This is not a well man. So this is the man now that they foisted upon us, and we've had to suffer him for 8 years. So now that we are having our turn now, they are asking for medical records. What medical record did you provide for their Aboki from Daura, who spent a good 20 to 30% of the country's wealth on his personal health needs? So that is the narrative there. But then again, I do concur that this guy is not medically fit in appearance. I'm no doctor, but he doesn't present as being medically fit to be the president of Nigeria. So that is where that storyline is, and this is where the next storyline begins. 2023, IBB speaks on its choice of candidates to emerge next president of Nigeria. Former military head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, retired, popularly called IBB, has revealed who his ideal candidate for the 2023 presidential election would be. Buhari did not mention any particular name, however, stated that there are some specific attributes such a person must have. According to the former president during a recent interview with Trust TV, the person who should take over, pardon me, pardon me. So see what I suffer for you guys. According to the former president during a recent interview with Trust TV, the person who should take over from President Mohammed Buhari should, amongst other things, be a young person. So that is an ambiguous statement right there, because what constitutes young? Because young for some people in terms of the presidency is about 60, some will even stretch it to 65, some cap it at 50, some even cap it at 45. So, what exactly constitutes young in Babangida style? So, according to the former president during a recent interview with Trust TV, the person who should take over from President Mohammed Buhari should, amongst other things, be a young person who is conversant with happenings in the country and has good communication skills. So the total opposite of Buhari, of course, is what this person is talking about. This Babangida is talking about. Buhari is not young; he's a man in his mid 80s. We know that. Buhari is not conversant with what is going on in the country. He's subsumed with paranoia and is still fighting the Biafra war. And he also wants to assert that his tribesmen, the Fulanis have supremacy over everyone. So this is not anybody that's conversant with anything and has good communication skills. Forget good communication skills. Buhari has no communication skills. So the total opposite of Buhari essentially is what Babangida is recommending for the country. He said the next president must be able to address Nigerians on issues bothering them and must have distinguished himself or herself in a particular field with traceable track records. It is not who do I have in mind, but who fits in. Any person who fits in within these criteria, then he's the right person as long as he is a Nigerian, he's a politician, he's not old like I am, he's very conversant with the country, he communicates, he is a very good communicator. IBB replied when asked about the particular person who should be the next president of Nigeria. And by the way, all of those criteria, they essentially preclude Tinubu. So you can say Tinubu is conversant with the country. There's an argument for that. But Tinubu is not young. Nobody knows his age, but it's certainly not the 69 that he's saying. He's well into his 70s, if not his 80s. So Tinubu is a fairly old guy, so that is not young by any stretch of the imagination. And is not is as bad a communicator as Buhari, if that is possible. So certainly by Babangida's template, that precludes Tinubu. That somewhat excludes Atiku too. Atiku is not young, he's a 70-year-old man, although you can say that is still borderline, but Atiku is a good communicator. I don't think even his worst enemy would dispute that. And Atiku is a Nigerian. When I say it's a Nigerian, I don't mean it's a Nigerian, I mean it's a Nigerian that transverses the expanse of that country. In Yoruba land is one of them. In Igbo land is one of them. In the north is one of them. He cuts across, that country. So he nearest in feet of all of the runners and riders. Bukola Saraki closer in feet because he's just a 60-year-old, I think, man. So that places him even closer to the seat. But then, of course, nobody else, but Showore is not a Nigerian, as we now know, because they've revoked his citizenship. So it's not in play. Mogalu to intellectual, etc., etc. So let's carry on. He added that he should be able to communicate because a president should be able to walk into a group of people and talk to them on issues concerning Nigeria, not all the time, but most of the time. He must have somebody he knows in every part of the country. It is not a tall order. You could limit it to states. You could limit it to local governments or even to words if you can, but somebody such that once you hear that the name, let me take that again. He added he should be able to communicate because a president should be able to walk into a group of people and talk to them on issues concerning Nigeria, not all the time, but most of the time. He must have somebody he knows in every part of the country. It is not a tall order. You could limit it to states, you could limit it to local governments, even to the words if you can, but somebody such that once you hear the name, it is somebody you will say, yes, I have heard that name before, either in the country or in his profession. If he's a doctor, a journalist, or whatever, all areas we have heard the name before, okay, then I will make an effort to know more about him. Without mentioning a particular name, IBB stated that such candidates with the listed qualities may be found amongst the current crop of politicians in the country. Well, I believe the process will take care of that. Within the process of those people you mentioned now, there are people who could fit into these criteria, and I believe the process can take care of that, he said. So that is Babangida's recommendation for the next president of Nigeria. And there's very little to disagree with what the former Luther, and some will say the foremost Luther of the Nigerian state, is now presenting as a panacea to the Nigerian problem. Yes, you need somebody that is relatively young. You need somebody that is acceptable to the entirety of the country. Buhari is not acceptable to the entirety of the country, nor does he seek the acceptance of the entirety of the country. It's just happy being just narrowness of his Fulani something, chanting Brukutu, Fura de Nunu. It's just some Fura de Nunu sort of something that has happened upon us. So Buhari is not the face of Nigeria, nor Nigeria the face for Buhari. He's just a Fulani man. But IBB said the next president has to transverse that and present a united face, an acceptable united face of the country. So who is that face? Is the question. He sets benchmarks. The person must be comfortable within all of the ethnicities of the country, so have some form of relationship or acceptability within all of the composing ethnic nations of the country. So that's one. The person must be relatively young, so let's cap that at 60 or thereabout, which then precludes Oshibanjo, by the way. And I think Oshibanjo is really who Babangida is pushing for, but his criteria precludes him or excludes him. So his criteria excludes him. So he said that as well. I must be a good communicator. So one of the worst things about this Buhari administration is never hearing from this guy, and I can understand that he's not fluent in communication. So he stumbles and he cannot hold a conversation. All he can do is instruct and tell people to go and shoot. He's just a go and shoot guy. So we cannot have another go and shoot. The lady gets the guns and go and massacre them. We cannot have that again. So a complete departure, essentially, if or from what has just this nightmare that we have just been through, is what Babangida is recommending. And I don't think too many people will disagree too much with that. But then the mystery continues around one of the foremost runners within that space. Kanuri origins of Tinobu family is what we're going to contend with next. There is probably no indigenous Lagos family that is more famous than the Tinubu family. But although the family is now clearly culturally Yoruba, its ethnic provenance is traceable to what is now Borno State, according to Lagos historians, underscoring the historical and social Let's take that all over again. There's probably no indigenous Lagos family that is more famous than the Tinubu family. But although the family is now culturally Yoruba, its ethnic provenance is traceable to what is now Borno State, according to Lagos historians, underscoring the historical and sociological inaccuracy of the notions of ethnic purism. In Nigeria, the patriarch of the Tinubu family, historians of Lagos say, was a Kanuri man known as Momodu. Momodu. It was most probably Modu, since Kanuris tend to shorten Muhammad to Mahmud. So Momodu was essentially Momodu Bugara. So that's actually, so it's Bola Bugara essentially. Eh? The patriarch of the Tinubu family, historians of Lagos say, was a Kanuri man known as Momodu. It was most probably Modu, since Kanuris tend to shorten Muhammad to Modu. So Mamadou Bugara, who was also alternately called Momo Abubakar or Momo Bukar or Alfa Ibunu. He was an Islamic scholar who migrated from the defunct Borno Empire to what was then Lagos Colony in the 1800s and achieved some renown in the Lagos society. In the mid 1800s, he was employed as an Islamic spiritual guardian by Madame Efun Rayo Tinubu, a famous wealthy slave trader, power broker, and agitator in Lagos, who was later banished to Abeokuta by the Lagos Oba of the time. In time, the spiritual guardians, in time, the spiritual guardian fell in love with his employer and they got married. But the marriage did not produce children. Apparently, the childlessness of the marriage was a consequence of Madame Tinubu's infertility because she consented to Bugara marrying other women with whom he bore children. A mark of the cordiality that existed between Madame Tinubu and Alpha Bugara, in spite of Bugara's marriage to other women and having children by them, was evident in the fact that Bugara's children adopted Tinobu as their family name, even though they didn't share any filiation with Madame Tinubu. I distilled these tidbits about the history of the Tinubu family from an insightful inaugural lecture titled The Undertaker, the Python's Eye, and the Footsteps of the Ants, the Historian's Burden, delivered by Professor Senior Oyewoso at the Lagos State University in 2006. Oyewoso, one of Nigeria's well-regarded historian who had an extensive academic career at Lagos State University, now teaches at the Osun State University. Professor Oyewoso quoted Professor Oyewoso quoted Madame Tinubu's biographer by the name of Oladipo Yemitan as saying that while most people who bear the Tinubu name were children of Bugara who had no direct blood link with Madame Tinubu, scoins of her former slaves and relatives from Abeokuta also bear the name. During this association with Momobu Ka and Efun Rayo Tinubu, the latter's name was so pervasive and all embracing that all within the household perforce assumed the name Tinubu. Oyeweso quoted Yemiton to have written. Included in this household were the children of Momo Bukar by his other wives and Madame Tinubu's relatives from Abeokuta who had joined her in Lagos and lived with her. Of course, a number of slaves also assumed the name Tinobu. Nonetheless, based on my own knowledge of the people and sociology of Kanan Borno, Momodu Bugara was not Kanuri, at least not on his patriarchal side. He was most certainly a Shua Arab. Shua Arabs, who have been integral to the Borno society for centuries and who number a little over 1 million in contemporary Borno, are called Bagara, i.e., cattle herders, by Middle Eastern Arabs. I am certain that Bugara is the corruption of Bagara by Lagosians of the 1800s. Although several Bagara people, whom Kanuris call Shua Arabs, still speak their dialect of Arabic language, often called Chadian Arabic in the linguistic literature, in the linguistics literature, many of them have intermarried with dominant Kanuri people in Borno and have adopted the Kanuri language. The late Abakari was a Kanurized Shua Arab slash Bagara. For all you know, Abakari and the Bugara line of the Tinobu family in Lagos may share distant ancestral links. Now, why is this history important? For one, it helps to exemplify the complexity and syncretism of ethnic identity in Nigeria. For another, it says something about the name Tinubu, particularly in light of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration that he wants to be the next president of Nigeria. When Professor Oyewoso delivered his lecture in 2006, Bola Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State. This fact wasn't lost on Oyewoso. Mr. Vice Chancellor Sir, today, the current administration of Lagos State is headed by Tinubu, he said. The Tinubus are also generally acknowledged as Lagosians. Another Tinubu headed the Lagos State Civil Service for 5 years. Others had distinguished themselves in journalism, security, and community service, the organized private sector, and other walks of life. But this is where Oyeweso got it all wrong. Bola Tinubu is not a member of any version of the Tinubu family. He is neither from the original Abeokuta Tinubu bloodline, the Bugara pedigree, nor the slave line of descent. Bola Tinubu is from a town in Osun State called Iragbiji, which is the headquarters of Borikwe local government area. His older sister is the mother of Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, the current governor of Osun State. By several credible accounts, including from informants in Iragbeji, Tinubu's original name was Amoda Lamidi Sangodelo. Amoda Lamidi Sangodele. So Amoda Lamidi Sangodele. Amoda is the Yoruba Muslim domestication of Ahmed, which underwent phonetic transformation from Ahmed to Amodu to Amoda. The vowels in the name O and A were merely transposed. Lamidi is the Yoruba Muslim domestication of Abdul Hamid. As I wrote in my July the 13th, 2014 column titled Top Yoruba Names You Never Guessed Were Islamic Names because of Yoruba people's fondness for the Lamidi is the Yoruba Muslim domestication of Abdul Hamid. As I wrote in my July the 13th, 2014 column titled Top 10 Yoruba Names You Never Guessed Were Islamic Names because of Yoruba people's fondness for the short forms of names, they often dispensed with Abdul in Muslim names that begin with that prefix. So that leaves us with Hamid. Now, there is something some people call the H factor in Yoruba, which is the tendency for Yoruba speakers to unconsciously eliminate the H sound in words in which it is normally pronounced and to add it to words that don't have it when they encounter a foreign name. So it is often pronounced as heat and heat pronounced as it. Given the phonetic characteristics, Hamid became Amid, but the interface of I, so it goes on to chart, no, this is just some long-winded nonsense, but essentially, Tinubu is an Aboki is what this guy is now using, this like whatever it is that he has done to highlight. So we'll move to the east and to Voodoo Money. Obi Kubana has case to answer, says NDLEA source. Popular socialite Obi Oyeagbu, aka Obi Kubana, is in trouble with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA. Popular socialite Obi Iyagu, aka Obi Kubana, is in trouble as the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA has commenced investigation into his links with drug money. Though the NDLEA has refused to officially comment on the case against Obi Kubana, uh, against Iyagu, who has Cubana Club in 5 locations, Imo, Lagos, River, Enugu, and Abuja. It was gathered from a source from the Anti-Narcotics Agency that the socialite has a case to answer and is still not yet off the hook. The source, who preferred anonymity, said, "Definitely we have a case against Obi Kubana, but we are still laying the background for the case to know what next step to adopt." He added that the initial invitation was a step towards especially the case against him. So that should be establishing the case against him. We are hoping to invite him again, and his release should be soon as no proof that he may be left, sorry, it's not me reading it badly, it is that it is badly written. So I'll try and read it as I should read rather than as it is written. So he added, the initial invitation was a step towards uh, establishing. So that establishing, they wrote especially. So I'm having just to tell you that I'm reading and editing at the same time. So they said the initial invitation was a step towards especially the case against him, but that should be establishing the case against him. So you see now how I'm reading it. I'm reading and editing both at the same time. So he added, the initial invitation was a step towards establishing the case against him. We are hoping to invite him again, and his release should not be seen as proof that he may have been left off the hook. Obi Kubana, who is the chairman Kubana Group of Companies, was initially invited to the headquarters of the NDLEA in Abuja for questioning on Thursday, and after spending about 5 hours during which he was interrogated, he was allowed to leave without any charges being leveled. It was learned that the case against Kubana was over some suspicious payments allegedly made into Kubana's account by 3 convicted dealers from Malaysia, Nigeria, and India. The investigation into Cubana may not be by the NDLEA alone, but made in collaboration with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), as it has to do with illicit financial transactions, according to the source. On Thursday, he was said to have arrived at the NDLEA office around 9 a.m. and interrogated till about 2 p.m. when he was allowed to leave. It was reported that the NDLEA has established 3 of such illicit payments, with one of the persons that paid the money into his account was convicted in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with another convicted in New Delhi, India, and the third payment made by someone arrested at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and convicted in 2017. Sources said the socialite was only allowed to go home to get some documents. So that is the thing. That is the case established against Obi Kubana. But I would say that is no case. Obi Kubana is a businessman, so he's not responsible or accountable for the source of income of the people that transact with him or his businesses. So is the reasons why those monies was transferred to him, are they legitimate reasons? That's the thing. So why just embarrass the guy? But then of course this is what they do to Igbo people. They just color them bad. Insecurity. Buhari hopes on God, says he has done his best. President Mohammed Buhari says he hopes God will listen to our prayers, saying his administration has done its best to curb insecurity that has remained unabated since his assumption of office in 2015. We have done our best and will continue to do more by pursuing coherent and consistent policies to deal with terrorism. The president said during a visit on Friday to State House Abuja by Grand Khalafi, overall head of the Tijaniya Islamic movement worldwide, Tijani Ali bin Arabi. So I thought the Grand Cadi of that movement was Lamido Sanusi. I thought he got that after he was dethroned. According to the president, the federal government is well aware of its responsibility with regards to security and will continue to do its best. Mr. Buhari urged Nigerians to be fair to his government in assessing the security issues in the country by reflecting on what obtained at the time he took over in 2015 and the successes as well as performance, which mark a decisive break from the past. Particularly, he cited the successes recorded by the administration in the Northeast and the South South, adding that Northwest, which had given the nation such headache, will experience a turnaround for the better. In January, Babagana Zulum, the governor of insurgency-ravaged Borno State, lamented that swathes of land mass in the north and south region of the state are under Boko Haram Hiswap occupation. His alarm was corroborated by the Nigerian Senate. Mr. Buhari himself was welcomed into Maduguri, Borno State capital, with rocket blast by insurgents going off some kilometers away from the airport before he touched ground during a visit in December. The president urged Nigerians to take responsibility and show interest in the affairs of their security and complement what the government is currently doing. According to the president, the federal government is well aware of its responsibility with regards to security and will continue to do its best. The president used the opportunity to thank Kano State Governor who brought the Grand Khalifa to Nigeria. So the Grand Khalifa, whatever that is, that's another. It's just whenever you hear this sort of names and this sort of persons, your heart just sinks, because that never somebody that is called the Grand Khalifa and his name is Tijani Ali bin Arabi. That would never bode well for a Yoruba man or an Igbo man. Anybody that bears that name or that name and that person will forever be bad news because that's just another round of just another set of beheaders. But there it is, and here it is. So Sally, we see you. Rational Mind, we see you. And Vin, we see you. So to you, first, Rational Mind. Rational Mind, good to see you. So whenever you hear a title like the Grand Khalafi with a name like Ibn Arabi, what does that conjure up in you? Grand Khalafi Ibn
Well,
Khalabadi Arabi.
well, it's yeah, it's. I think it tells you already. I mean,
Yeah, is that reasons to be fearful when you when you hear
well,
names
I
like
saw
that?
that. Yeah, I saw that. Was it that news yesterday in the was it yesterday or 2 days ago
Mm.
in on channels?
That's
You
another
know,
beheader, isn't it?
it was is it this I mean Kano State
Yeah.
governor,
Mm.
what's his name, Ganduje, that
Ganduje,
took him
yeah.
to Asurok, and then you start wondering. I think this same Tijanias they've been indicted in one of the reports that is.
I thought, sorry to interrupt you. I thought Sanusi was their grand leader because
Well,
because I thought they gave him that title after he became the emir, after he was dethroned, and they were making great hay then that this new title that he has now supersedes even being the emir of Kano. I'm pretty certain, but I'm not absolutely categorical. But I carry on. Sorry. Yeah.
well, myself, I'm not too certain as to that. So,
Mm.
but I think it has to do with something going on in Asurok. You know, ever since the day of Abacha, it's been said that they bring in some mullahs and some what they call them, some spiritualists. Well, yeah, well, something like that. Yeah. So that they come in there to pray because there's something going on in Aso Rock that is not right and all of that. So maybe that's the reason why it's there, but they didn't really speak as to the news never speak as
It's
to
an
why.
Arab-looking guy. I just checked him
Yeah,
out
he
now.
is.
It's
Even
an
from the name, you can
Arab-looking
tell
guy.
Ibn Arabiya, whatever they call it. So
Mm.
it tells you that it's an Arabic name.
Ibn Bantu, the Gudi, Jabagubi,
Well,
Arabia.
it's not those Semitics. They have
Mm.
Semitics. They have those Ibni and all those kind of names. I mean, attached to their names. It shows something son of. Ibni means son of. That's
Mm.
the meaning in Arabic. You know, so when somebody say Abdul Muttalab Ibni Muhammad, it means Abdul Muttalab son of Muhammad, something like that. So even the
Why are we
Israelis they
even
have.
bothering to learn anything about these people? These are not our people. These are not our interests. And now we are
No,
now
it's good for you
having
to learn
yes.
that.
No, no,
But
but I don't
by
care
virtue of
about
my
Ibn
training,
Bantu,
my I
Ibn
mean,
Bambutu. Who cares?
well, somebody who studied international relations, you should know something like that, so that
Mm.
if you someday you find yourself working in the Arab world or whatever, you can be able to relate to them, so interact with them. I mean, they come in international platforms like UN and all of that, international organization, so you can be able to relate with them. So anyway, so you see, it still goes back to what we're talking about, religion and
Ibn
religion.
Bambutu.
Well, it's up to them, whatever it is. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I don't know actually, but I think it has to do with Buhari has been talking about Nigerians should pray. We should pray for Nigeria. That country is
Mm.
going down, is burning down. It's very, I mean, under his watch. So maybe they have to bring in.
How much of that is down to his failing?
Of course, they don't realize that. You see, all of that they keep saying. Even with Tinubu, when he was talking about use God, a lot of they use God, and they had to call about 300 mullahs to pray for him. There's been some viral videos going around, even churches too. They're praying for him. So
Mm.
you can wonder, you can imagine how they use religion to kind of like attract people to politics and all of that, see their leaders as whatever it is. So well, for me, I know it has to do with some kind of prayer that they want the man to pray for Buhari and his government. I think that's what it is all about. Yeah.
But to the headline though, Buhari hopes on God, says he has done his best. So that sounds like a language of surrender. A man that has given up, is run out of ideas. Essentially, is what you're saying.
But Baba Yabo told us now. All right, are we surprised? I mean,
Hmm.
why? I mean, Obasanjo already said it that can is like beating a dead horse. A dead horse is as good as a dead as a life or a dead
Hmm.
whatever. So I mean, there's nothing he can. He has nothing to offer. I think in his that interview that he granted channels, I think he alluded to something like that too. I mean, they've done their best. They've done whatever they can do. So it's not new if he keeps saying that again, repeating himself. So I think see what is going on
So what was
in
all the
Borno State
fuss
now.
then? What was all the fuss then about a Buhari presidency? What was he chasing for since
He,
2009? If this is all he has to offer, Then what was it all about? Just Fulanization, Abi?
It would tell
Is
you
the
that
whole idea?
well, it will tell you that he has done his best, you know,
Because the
that
whole
is,
thing has been just a categorical anti-climate. It's just a damp squib.
yeah, it's a waste,
You know,
it's a waste of our
it's
years,
just a
waste of our
pointless.
years.
It's just a 8 year just meandered through
Yeah,
nothing.
it's a waste.
Just inane argument with Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu. Can you
They
not
know.
remember in 20 something? This is what we did for 8 years. Just a total,
Yeah, just
and
always pointing finger.
the time just passed away.
Mm.
Nothing, not a single thing.
They were just accusing PDP of being the reason everything.
Yes, and so
PDP.
what was the whole point of this
So
whole
that's the point.
Buhari?
So
It's
yeah,
just a nonsense,
it's
a
just a waste.
total
It's a waste.
nonsense.
A waste. Yeah.
Just look at that window. 8 years. Imagine what
8
could
years.
have been
Yeah.
achieved.
Yeah. And again,
And the only one thing
looking
he
to,
had though was being a soldier man, and he's saying he can't handle insecurity. Nobody made him president for his economic prowess
it's just
or
solve
his interpersonal
the
skills,
insecurity. Yeah.
or that
That's
is a
what it is.
uniting figure for the country. No, none of that. He had one job, insecurity, and he surrenders
You
now.
cannot
That
even. Yeah. You cannot even. So, I mean, did you see videos? I mean, images coming out from Borno? You know, I mean, Borno State governor said they had about.
I just turn it off. I find it too depressing, man. I don't.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
is.
look the
But
other
we
way.
just have to speak to it too, because the people don't know. A lot of people don't
Yeah,
know.
what's coming out of there? More savagery and more barbarism.
More savagery, and it is brute. In fact, I was even wondering why would they name a military school after Brutai?
Oh, you mean that Burutai school that they attacked?
Yeah, I mean, they could have named some other person that is dead, some old past military general or whatever that died. I mean, but why Brutai? We understand that it is situated in Brutai's village or area where it's from in Borno State, but they should have named it after. But why this same past Brutai that was there? That was how they named it after him. If you see how these people came in there, they ransacked the whole place, they sacked the whole place down, they burnt all their new SUVs that they use and buses.
Brought the flag down.
So what?
Brought the flag down.
They brought the flag down, yeah. So just to tell you, you know, and then the next year, that Borno State alone, almost quarter of our budget is going to that state.
So
you know,
should we just cut that state loose and reform the country?
They will not.
Just let them go.
Some people are benefiting.
Let them cannibalize themselves if they want to cannibalize themselves.
Well, we keep saying that here on your platform sometimes, and other places they keep telling us that anyone, you know, that they said that's not the way to go. That the way is to go is we should remain as one.
Because they don't want that problem solved.
They don't want it.
They cannot have that problem and not be complicit in it to the level that they have. The people, they want to live under whatever.
Didn't you hear what Brutai said? Didn't you hear what Brutai himself said in one of the?
What did he say?
One of the interview was granted on channels. He says the reason why that thing still lingers to today is because of the people in the north themselves, in that area where you find those bandits and Boko Haram. They are also complicit. They give them information because of their religion.
That's irrefutable, you know. That's it. Because if you look at the volume, these people now, let's take the Chibok girls situation and let's believe it to be true. A lot of people will argue that it may or may not be true. But let's work on the premise just for the purposes of conversation that it is true. So they've gone in to a community and they've taken 300-400 girls into the forest. So they are not matching them out on the road, are they? They've packed them into buses. They can't fit them all. So they would have had a convoy with their men, with this girl, and they will have driven through communities because the school is not located in a forest, and everybody will see everything that is going on. They will see. So they cannot say the community is not complicit in all of these things that we see.
Of course.
You know?
I mean, imagine do you know that Borno is a very big, it's bigger than Belgium.
Yeah, they say it's quite huge. They say that Sambisa forest they grown is bigger.
The Sambisa forest is bigger than the whole of Netherlands.
So now, just imagine, just look at it now. That's just that place alone. They travel all the way from the north or whatever they have within it, and then they travel. There is no drone or whatever that can pick them up and inform the military in Maiduguri, and then you should fly to Kanu or jet fighters and go and just massacre those people there. I mean, just wipe them out. I mean, just to tell you that, and then again, they will have to vote more money to that very place that they burned down. What's it called? The the brutal military, whatever, they said the bonder, you vote more money again, defense money will go into that place again. Just imagine. So you see, they don't apparently you don't want that war to end because some people are
No,
making money from it. Some
no.
people are just milking that country
But
down.
that word ultimately it will consume all, including the people making the money and including the traditional victims.
How many of
Because
them live here?
you will remember, no, you say that. Remember the chief of army something or the other under Goodluck Jonathan, but there, who was gunned
Mm,
down on his way to his
mm,
farm. And
mm.
that's not the first top military person that's been gunned down, you know?
Of course,
So they may think they are insulated, but this thing will consume everybody at some
that is it.
point,
So
you
that's why I
know?
keep saying, here on your platform and other place, I say, look, that religion that they put in place is the main problem in that place.
Well, I
If
don't
they
know
can
about
take
that.
it off,
No,
yeah,
I don't.
yeah, it is, it
No,
is. If
no,
that's
no.
the only way
Well,
they
that's
can,
your opinion, you know. I don't
well,
think it's the
that's my
religion.
opinion.
I think it's just land grabbing. But you know, that's your view and that is mine. But
It comes. They use religion. They use religion. Either you want to
well,
accept
yeah,
that
they
fact or
always
not.
use they
They
always
use
yes
religion.
use
They come under the guise
religion,
of religion.
but no, but again, but that's usually what happens, isn't it? They come under the guise of religion to perpetrate what their real intentions are. So that is not to say it's the religion, but the people that are actually intent on doing something in a
But
particular way. But let me move you on from there and take you to now this headline. 2023 presidency, Arewa Consultative Forum demands medical evidence on Tinubu. So you know why they are making this demand. So are you in line with that, or what are you making of that?
You see, those people are a bunch of hypocrites. Just hypocrites. The hypocrisy has no level. Just look at the way when you were reading it. 'Cause I was trying to look online to see that news myself, just to see what it is all about. I'm not really able to find. I don't really know where you found out that news from. But anyway, I heard what the
No,
way you read it.
no, it's all over the place. But I'll
Okay,
post the
so
link. It's all over
so
the
anyway,
place.
so
Yeah.
no, I trust what you said. And that you must have
Well,
sourced it from
this
somewhere.
particular one is from Daily Post, but I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
on Sahara Reporters. It's everywhere anyway. It's
Okay.
everywhere.
So anyway, the thing is what I've seen is that Tinubu, I mean the Northerners saying that well, I mean there is how do I put it? There is sense in what they said. Some of the things they said that we don't want to have a repeat of what happened to Buhari to also happen for another next 4 8 years again. So this man should provide his medical report or anybody
rational mind.
yeah.
This is the hypocrisy that we are talking about. Why didn't they check for
That's
medical or
it.
request for medical report of Muhammadu
Buhari.
Buhari before they allow him to come in? Look, there is something these people think that the Southerners are just a bunch of illiterates and ignorant, or let me just say illiterate people. In fact, they use one of our own to campaign for this man, knowing fully well that that man had that ear problem. He had ear problem when he was a commander in the armor department. He had that issue. That thing has been there, and as he's aging, he keeps on deteriorating. They knew that this man has issues that will keep him away from leadership, from office for more than 6 months. And they allowed that man to be there. Now it got to the turn of a southerner now, Tinubu, and if not because of the corruption that is hanging over this man, I will support Tinubu because they have set a precedent.
It's
Go
not
ahead,
even
sir.
the corruption, it's his health. It's the biggest
Yeah.
concern for me with Tinobu is his health.
But what he's
Because
saying is that
corruption is corruption. Everybody's corrupt in Nigeria. But my concern for a Tinubu presidency is that it might well pan out like a
yeah,
Yadua,
Dua,
that's what that's
yeah,
just
it might
what my
happen that
fear
way
is.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't trust those
Because
people.
just to what Vin was saying that they knew Buhari was ill. I think part of the calculation was for him to Yadua to Yemi Oshibajo. You know,
Maybe
I
that
think
was the
yeah.
calculation thing, but then it never happened
I'm
that way.
just speculating. I'm just
Of course,
speculating though. Yeah,
possibly
yeah,
too. Yeah, like you said, yeah, that's what some people have been speculating too. But it never
yeah.
happened. Now, who knows? Maybe remaining for 18 months. I remember. I mean, I remain. Who knows? Maybe we might not finish it. That was what
But
Obaya
how would
said.
that then play out? How would that play out?
That's going to
Yeah,
be a real constitutional crisis, because I tell you, it's
yeah.
going to be a very, very, because it's almost at an election year, and people might start reading. You know, these Northerners, they might start reading on that meaning to it. And I mean, I just hope it doesn't happen that way. And if it happens, my brother, I don't see that country surviving. That country will be thrown into
It will
crisis. Yeah.
survive now. Well, the Nigeria
Well, the
always
thing is,
Nigeria. The one thing about Nigeria, it always survives. That's
then,
just
then,
the
then,
thing.
then you will hear the Northerners saying, "Yeah, our president is so it's our turn now. We have to go back again, and we have to take another not, those kind of." Then Southerners will say no, and then from there,
No,
come
what those
another,
you know what their argument is? Their argument will be that Yemi Oshibajo should yield the space to the Senate president. That's what they will argue for
So,
to
so, so,
complete Buhari's
so the
term.
Senate president should now become president over Yerimi Oshibajo,
Yeah,
who is
this is what
constitutionally.
they will argue for.
So,
Yeah.
imagine. So,
But
you see,
that's
Igbo
just
people, the way
yeah.
they reason sometimes is just so funny. So, like we're saying about this man, Tinubu, and his health. You see, I tend to agree with Dean. If truly Ademi Tinubu has been a good man and he has not had this hold that he has in Lagos State, he has just maybe retired and he has. I mean, he just health is his problem.
But just all the
But
issues though, there are speculations about his age. Like Buhari, no,
that's true.
but Tinubu is not 69, so we can abandon that. Or is he
One
even
man, one
70?
man, one man.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. See, let me tell you. You see, it doesn't matter. How old was Buhari
No,
when
no,
he
no.
became?
We're not talking about Buhari
Must
because
he, must he, must he be South? Must
no,
he be South?
no. What I was getting at is off the back of this Buhari, we don't want whether it's from the south or not. We cannot say because it's from the south. Then we then have just a repeat of what we had with Buhari, but then with the Yoruba man now being the person, in and out of hospital, unable to communicate with the people, flitting in and out of lucidity and consciousness, away with the fairies. So we cannot. So that's where all the speculations are. His
Tinubu,
health
Tinubu,
is a big
Tinubu.
source of concern. His
Apart from
age
that,
a big cause of concern, and the
Tinubu does not
corruption
have,
concern too.
yeah, yeah. Apart from that, all these ones too. Tinubu does not have compassion. He's not a man with compassion. You can tell.
Well,
He's a
no,
man who likes
well,
to.
maybe that's one of the qualities that you do need. Who has compassion in Nigeria? Nigeria is not a compassionate country.
Nigeria is not a
He,
compassionate ground.
so they only want to use people for their own end, to their own hand. They don't have that compassion. Look at when Baba Fashoranti's daughter died. Look at the way he spoke like it's nothing. Even when his own
But
son
did you
died.
not understand that that was politics?
Well, let's just leave that. So even when his own son died, there
Whose
was a way.
son?
There was a yeah. That's one of his son that died. One of his maybe his first son or whatever. But the man had so many kids, different women. Even when his son died, and even the mother of that son died, he said the way he even treated the matter was just that's what it was speculated. So I
Very
mean, to me,
trivial, yeah.
yeah. So it's just the man. It tells the kind of man he is that
Do you
he's
not
void of that
understand somewhat the
empathy.
do you not understand somewhat the politics that Tinobu plays? People are saying he's not Yoruba enough, but he
One
cannot
man.
Yoruba now if he's gone in for the
That was even
Nigerian
what brought
seat.
me. Normally, I should have gone to bed. That was what brought me here. But when
For
I had you
Tinubu.
read that, yeah, when you said that, because I remember on your platform here, I've thrown that speculated to that effect here on your platform. You
Oh,
like to
that
shut me
you
down.
you
Hold
mean
down
the
now.
no? I
Hold
didn't shut you
on.
down. Hold on. Let me bring you into the space now. Are you talking about Tinubu essentially being a Kanuri man? Is this what
No,
you're
that's
talking
what I'm
about?
saying. Hold
Okay, go on.
on. I'm not saying he's a Kanuri man. When I said I heard that story from somewhere that Tinubu, that name is not the Yoruba name. You were trying to shut me that way. Like, let's forget it. Let's not go there. Blah blah blah. It's just speculation. Okay, okay. So, and I tried debating it twice here on your platform. So, but the thing is this, and you've confirmed me that an historian, professor, University of Lagos, you said, was it Lagos State
Lagos State
University?
University. Yeah.
So Lasu said something to that effect that Tinubu, originally that name is from Kanem, Borno, and the person, Lagos Highland has so many quarters that you have the Hausa quarters, you have the Edo, the Benin quarters, you have the people that came from Brazil, like our friend here, Mr. Gomez. I mean, those Brazilians, those names from South America,
Fernandez and those are not.
Fernandez and the
And
rest of
the,
them.
and the Lebanese people that were
Lebanese too, they were
relocated
all
to.
there. So, yeah, they were
I
there.
don't. We don't have that strong a Lebanese presence in Lagos. I think
Anymore.
that's more Kano, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
They
okay.
moved up north now, man. We used to have them in Lagos many years. The Apapa area,
They
they
used to
were
be
Although I
Lebanese.
think Eco Hotel is owned by Lebanese.
I think, well, maybe possibly because
Yeah,
they
one
used to have.
Lebanese like that naturalized to a Nigerian. I can't remember his name now. It starts with a K.
Is it the Chogri? Is it Chogri or whatever?
Chowdhury or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
Chowdhury.
Chogri
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah. I think he was given one of them was given a Nigerian citizenship during
Yes, they
was it
naturalized during Abacha, I think. Yeah,
Abacha. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I think either Jonathan or
No, I
Obasanjo
think it
time.
was actually Abacha. I think a lot of his money was made during Abacha. He was the bag man for the Abacha
I
family.
mean, they are mafians, you know. The Lebanese will be
Mm.
another mafians, you know.
No,
They
that's you know all the lootings that this is why a lot of people criticize Ganduje for that pocketing dollars because traditionally in the north they always have a Lebanese guy that is their bag man when they come into office and he's the one that will take their money to Lebanon and flush it through the Arab system. But he was too greedy. He was taking cash and pocketing it.
Well, so the thing is, Tinubu, talking about Tinubu is that name. You know, people have been saying that that guy is not a real son of that woman, Madame Tinubu. That the husband of that woman is originally from Kanem, and that he has, he had problem of having kids. So maybe the woman adopted this man called Bola today, Bola Tinubu, and then whether him and his other siblings too, and like you also already read. So you see, sometimes when people speculate things like that, there's an element of truth to it. So the truth there is that maybe originally really is not the real blood of that man called Tinubu originally from Kanem, but that he was adopted or is one of those slaves or whatever slave quarters that that they bought back then many years back in the 18th century or the 17th century, and maybe I don't know whatever happened in between. So, but the thing is that name is not Yoruba name. Tinubu is not a Yoruba name. It's a name from somewhere like they said from Kanem, and so if he is bearing that
No,
name,
Tinobu doesn't sound Kanem. It sounds Yoruba.
no,
Eh?
Tinubu is not. No, Tinubu is not.
Tinubu
Not.
doesn't sound Yoruba to
It's
you.
not Yoruba. It's not Yoruba. It's not Yoruba name.
Ah.
It's not a Yoruba name.
It's a
No,
Yoruba sounding name.
no.
Is it a Yoruba sounding name?
It's not a Yoruba name. I don't think it's a
What's
Yoruba
all that
name.
whoosh whoosh sound? What's the whoosh whoosh?
From my end here, that would be my
Yes.
my heater from here. My heater. So
Okay.
that's like I said to you, it's snowing here. It's very we're getting a lot of snow here. So
Now look at
and
this
so
guy.
everywhere is cold. So anyway, so just to wrap up
No,
that
no, be you
that
go abroad. Who send you abroad? Eh?
but now you they complain say there's whoosh whoosh here, but I'm sorry for that sound.
Okay. No carry, no
It's
carry
even-
on.
Yeah.
Eh?
So I don't know why something's even made that loud.
You should be in like Vin, be a farmer in your village, and
No,
Yeah.
it's not me. It's not from here. It's not from
no,
here.
I say it should be like you instead of running abroad. You should go and be a
My own is
farmer.
Okokoroko and my
Yes.
cow.
You know that I prefer that one because that is the sound I want to be hearing. You know, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I could hear that power.
we
I
don't,
wanted to
we
ask,
don't
is it
have
one man?
alarm in Africa. We have chicken.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one man the other day. Is it? Are you the one who has that end, those cockroaches making noise?
Yeah, yeah.
From
You're
your
a
side?
rational man. I have almost 65 of them. I keep
Wow.
them just behind my compound here in a little garden. You know, just I feed them.
Do you have a
I'm feeding
vegetable
them for
garden
meat.
as well? Do you have a
Yes,
vegetable garden?
yes. I have a small vegetable garden here
And
where
you grow yam.
I grow okro, and the
Do you grow
ayoyo.
yam? Do you grow yam?
No, it's not too big. It's not big for me to grow yam in it.
You see, I was thinking you might never need to go to the market, you know, if you are growing yam.
You know, most of the vegetables I grow them myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
within the place.
that is just this. It's good for that man to come clean. With all this thing dangling on his neck, all this what's it
Are there
called?
too many things? Are there too many issues with this guy, Tinobu?
There are so many issues with this
The
guy.
health
This guy has,
concern is a
yeah,
concern. Even if it's the Aboki saying it is still a concern.
yeah,
His
it
age
is.
is a concern. The corruption a concern.
His origin too
His
is
religion a concern.
yeah, even his origin too is of
Well, the origin not so much. It's questionable and interesting, but you
yeah,
know.
and then his age and all of that.
Hmm.
He has a daughter that is about 50 something years old, and then he's claiming to be how many?
Yeah,
He's claiming
69. Yes, as well.
so
I think it's
that tells you,
celebrated that 69th birthday at least 7 times. By my,
yeah, that tells
you
you.
know, every year is 69.
So the thing is this: when somebody has these discrepancies and a lot of, question mark to his character and everything, It tells you he's not fit to, because somebody who is not honest about a lot of things about himself. That tells you that how can we trust him to want to lead? You see, so that's the point. So I'm not really after his personality as such. It's just he's.
No, you detest him for his personality.
No, I
You
don't
say you're
detest
not
him.
after his personality, and you are saying he has no empathy.
Yeah,
You say
no,
he has no
yeah.
empathy, and
Well,
yeah.
yeah, well, what I mean as a person himself, as a Tinubu as a person, but I'm just talking about his history, his antecedent, and all of that. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So
Okay, let me move you from there then to the east. Voodoo money, Copacabana. So it now looks as that voodoo money equally drugs money. So this Eastern thing again, you just always the thing. They are always shady characters, and the shadiness comes out again. Obi Cubana, voodoo money first, Nagbana money too. So what are you then making of this NDLEA alarm to space that Obi Kubana is drugs money.
yeah, you see, Obi Kubana has been having issues lately. All these issues has to do with ever since he had that his mother's burial.
He
Yeah,
was too
so
loud, wasn't he? And people didn't like that.
well, that should not be an issue. But you see, in the way Nigeria is at this moment, it should have just be more may do it not much, not make too much noise about it. And people are hungry, and then you are being flashy, you're being showy,
He
people will
wants
start
to
suspecting,
bam bam. He wants to chill with the big boys.
chilling with the big boys, So,
Yeah.
so the point is, I think that was where his problem started from. Even though they must have been eyeing him, but I think he really blew up his trumpet with that. So for me, this new revelation coming from the NDLEA, start wondering too. Really, it's not just him. A lot of them are into money laundering. I've met a lot of people here, Nigerians, not here particularly. I mean, I meet them. I meet them online. They just start telling me, they give me a call if I can do this for them, blah blah blah. I know Nigerians, so Nigerians they launder money through many means. Get it? So not just him. A lot of them they launder money. Like this guy was Monfa. I think Monfa too is having a case. You heard about that?
No, Manfa
Monfa.
is a full blown gangster now. This is just a. I mean, look. If you only have to look at him, that one's a criminal.
So Monfa too, he has a lot of question mark to his person. I mean, to his person too. He say he launders. I think he has a bureau de change, and then
Yeah, this is what he claims.
so and then he launders money through that means. And I think he said they found something on his phone, and that was where they really got that tip. That
But this idea of because there was a time they were saying Chowore is linked to terrorism or something or something. They find the number on your phone and then they make the association because the person is of a certain character. And this seems to be the narrative of Obi Kubana as well. They
no,
said there was transactions
it's always
that
transaction. Yeah,
yes,
not
that
just
relating to people with drugs money. This is a clubber. This is a nightclub owner. So of course, I mean, he's not accountable for where whoever gets their money from gets their money from. The
Yes,
reasons
but
why those money was transacted is it legitimate or not? Is it credible what he says?
well,
They are not trained anyway. They're just
Well, you see, they
savages.
have a way of, I mean, you can follow the money, you can trace the money, where the money goes, how it comes, and all of that. So they can do that. The Nigerian EFCC and NFIU, they are all trained to do that. But the thing is,
Okay.
is
So
it, is it, is it only Obi
somebody
Cubana that's doing
Russian mind, somebody is a drug dealer in Malaysia, etc.
it? Okay.
He then comes to Lagos or to Nigeria to come and do big boy. He ends up at Obi Kubana's establishment. He orders all these uh, champagne, etc. Runs
Okay.
up a bill of 5 million, 6 million naira. He transfers the money to make the payment. So how is Obi Kubana then responsible for this guy's
Well,
drug dealings?
he has to prove it. He has to prove it that it's just,
He doesn't have to. You have to. You're not
don't say that, don't say
guilty
that.
until you prove yourself
Of
innocent.
course,
You are
of course,
innocent
whatever
until you.
Nigerian law is. But what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is, if that's the case, that a man transacts, he uses, he came to his club
No, I'm
and
just citing that as an
I know
example, or rather
it could
than
be,
yeah, yeah.
it could be too, and it could not be. But what I'm saying is, I think what he said, according to the report, is that they let him go to go and bring all the evidence to show that he's not part of the criminal gang that is laundering money through. You selling
Yeah,
narcotics.
but is that not is that how law works?
If he
Is
can
it
prove
to
it,
prove his innocence or for them to prove his
well,
guilt?
if he can prove it, whatever, evidence they have, they will use it to nail him, because the evidence is this guy here who's transferred this money to your account is into narcotics, it's into drug and all of that. So the money went into your account. So can you prove what it is? Oh, he came to my club. He spent this sort of time. He scattered ground for everybody. He just bought champagne, everything for everybody. This is it. And then if he has camera recording in his club, he could show that as an evidence, or even the bill, the receipt they gave to him, a copy of the invoice and everything. So these are the things you can use to prove. Or maybe if he's helping him in another way, prove it. So let him prove it. If not, I think they're going to nail him.
All right. Let me move you from there to IBB and the criteria that he has set for the next president of Nigeria. The person should have broad appeal across the ethnic composition of the country, of relatively young age, and a good communicator. So this is the criteria set by Babangida. What says you?
Well, Babangida has lately been speaking to the space.
But don't attack Babangida, though. Just with the criteria. Yes, we are not here. No, because that's what people usually do. Why didn't he? How can he? No, just the criteria that they are set.
Hey, it's not bad. It's not a bad criteria. But then the thing is, at the end of the day, whose will is going to prevail? Like Dele Momodu said, he said there are owners of Nigeria, which I think I've also mentioned that effect on your platform here. There are those people who own Nigeria. Like when Babangida Obasanjo was talking the other day that he has benefited from Nigeria. Now, Obasanjo is one of those people, one of those owners of Nigeria that you need to consult. Like Dele Momodu said, when Abiola was trying to, was it Abiola? I'm sorry, Lufalaye was contesting against Babangida, against Obasanjo then. He said he was trying to use Lukman, former OPEC, Nigerian envoy to OPEC, and so they asked him to become his running mate for Falai. And he said, forget it, it will never happen.
All right, just a quick one, Rational Mind. We have 97 people on the platform, only 17 thumbed up. So can you guys please make that right? Thumb it up, just to help the algorithm. So back to you,
So we just want you guys to thumb up, please. And I think I will do my because I'm using my browser on the StreamYard. If not, I would have gone to the YouTube and do that thumbs up from there. So anyway, so the point is there are owners of Nigeria that you need to consult. And so Babangida is one of them. And for him to be speaking to that space, well, he's one of those people. At the end of the day, the general will of the others might prevail as to who's going to be. But
do you think by that statement is speaking for or against? Is that statement actually speaking to exclude others or to include some?
But because when you read it, you said somebody like 60, is it below 60, something like that?
No, he didn't set it. I was just saying what will constitute young for a president.
Okay, so you didn't really say a particular age.
No, he didn't say an age.
The other time he talked about Osinbajo, that he likes the guys, this and that.
But Osinbajo is about 63, isn't he?
Of course. So if you say young, so everybody has a way of saying somebody's young, but young, 60 is not young to me. Even 50 is not young.
No, for a president, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So what would be a young president for you?
Somebody in his 40s is young. I will call that person still young.
To be president of Nigeria?
Yeah, somebody still in the 40s.
You think a 40-something-year-old will be sufficiently rounded enough to preside over a country as complex as Nigeria?
That's the point. That's the problem with Nigeria.
Yeah. No, I'm asking you. No, don't say that's the problem. I'm asking you. Do you think a 40-something-year-old will be sufficiently rounded off enough to be president of a country as complex as Nigeria?
There are Nigerians that are well-rounded at that age. There are Nigerians that are well-rounded.
What is the rounding off that you think a president should have?
He should have an understanding of how economics works. That's number one, because the problem of Nigeria is, the thing is this, you have to consider the context as well. The context of where Nigeria is right now, we need somebody who can pull that country out of where it is, the economic problem that it has. And also, because even those people who claims to be generals, we've seen how they've messed up. They've not been able to put down an insurrection in the Northwest. So,
stop, please. Whoever that is,
my laptop is going on. So, what I'm just trying to say is this, that You see, it's very difficult to find that whole thing in one person. You cannot find it in one person.
No, but what's rounding off would the Nigerian president need to have? How
Like
would
I
they
said,
have to be rounded off? Yeah.
we need somebody who can unite that country right now. Unite that
Right.
country. Who has the appeal to both north, east, and west.
Right.
To unite that country. That is one. Because that is, without solving that issue of unity and insecurity, there's no way we can make headway economically.
Right.
That insecurity is hinged, or every other thing is hinged upon that insecurity.
Right.
So without insecurity being solved, there's no economic policy you can run in that country that would yield any fruits.
Right.
So now that is number one. So if that person has that appeal, that he can speak to somebody in the north, they will listen to him. Speak to somebody in the south, east, and southwest.
So the rounding off that the Nigerian president should have, it should have broad appeal right across the country, which is to say that he should have a relationship and an understanding of the complex ethnic composition of the country and be able to align and sympathize with that ethnic composition. So that's one. He has to have a good grounding in economics. That's two. He has to understand security. That's three. He has to understand interpersonal relationship. That is four. He has to understand the social dynamic of the country. That is five. And then he has to understand the agitations that is going on in Nigeria and address that. That is so. There's just a whole garment of skill set that has to be, into that one person. And you're saying some 40-year-old guy will be sufficiently rounded to have all of that.
Yes.
Command the respect of the Obi of Onitsha, the Sultan of Sokoto,
it is very possible.
The Alaafin for you.
It is very possible.
The whatever, or bong.
It is very possible.
No, I don't see it.
Yes, I see it.
You see it, but I don't.
Well, that's your own view, one man.
Well, that's it, but you see it, yeah.
So that's my own view too. So what the point is, my view is just we can find it. It's possible. They're very rare. They're very rare among, the present crop of people in our country, because over the years, a lot of people.
Can you identify one then that you have seen this quality seen? Because even Showore that you guys want, he doesn't have the full set.
That's what I'm saying.
Kalu doesn't have the full set.
That's what I'm saying. You cannot find that.
I think Obasanjo has the full set.
Showore does not have that appeal. When I mean that appeal for now, because of what he's going through right now, they really messed up that guy. And I've not seen people from the north really liking him as such, because every time he calls for, okay, let's support a revolution or let's support some kind of protest.
Okay, so what 40-something-year-old person have you identified as having those skill sets?
I can't think of any right now. But I know there are. But I can't think of any right now. Maybe not in Nigeria, maybe in the diaspora. People are doing well. We have the likes of the deputy treasury here in America is a Yoruba guy, and we have somebody in Florida.
The deputy treasury in America will be president of Nigeria.
Well, if he wants to, if he still has his Nigerian citizenship intact, he has no citizenship right now. He doesn't have. It could be. So there are so many Nigerians doing well in this diaspora who are in their 40s. They are doing well. They are well-rounded. But the thing is, back home, are they known back home?
What do you mean well? They're doing well in their field.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
You can't say they are well-rounded. How to be president?
When I mean well-rounded, they are well-rounded in some areas, maybe in economics, in jurisprudence and all of that, and maybe.
So that's the narrowness of a specialism.
So, but what I'm saying is this: you and I would both agree that we can't find it in one person.
Well, there you are.
Tinubu might have this appeal of political appeal to some people in the north and maybe in the south and maybe in the southeast, but he might be lacking in some areas. And maybe Showore might have some, maybe he knows how to speak to power. He can damn any kind of consequences and really go for the people and be people-oriented, and maybe even have a standoff with the parliament or with the Senate. And if they're not member of his party, or they're from the other party, he can damn whatever consequences.
So bombasticness for bombasticness sake, Mr. Bombastic.
So you say that that's up to you. But what I'm trying to say is that he's this kind of person who can damn whatever consequence of whatever thing. Doesn't care about anybody, just want to get things done.
All right.
So the point is this: we both agree that one person has it all.
Yeah, but they have sufficient enough of the mix is the thing. Nobody has it all, but do they have sufficient enough of the mix?
For me, somebody that can bring the country together, that has an appeal, economics as well, and that has an understanding of how government, how it works in Nigeria. Because without that, there's no way we can move forward. And more so again, that will be willing to bring about a new constitution, a new restructuring, restructuring of that country. Because even though whatever that person is, no matter how skilled that person is, if he doesn't change that constitution or work on
anybody that is promising restructuring will have, unless both candidates are promising restructuring, if one candidate is promising and it's not, he's not going to win.
Well, let's see how it plays out, because I think a lot of them are already sharpening their.
One man, if I may interject, please.
Oh, all right, thank you. Rational mind, mute yourself, because that humming sound is a bit disconcerting. Yeah, I hear on. Yeah.
Everyone, hello.
Nakwana.
Nakwana. No, that won't be my language, my brother.
You know Wazobia? You are Wazobia.
No, I'm an Izom man. What we say is Tubara. Say Tubara.
Tubara.
Emio, do.
Look at that.
Oh
yeah, pass.
No, I just want. The guy.
One of these days I'll visit the creeks, Yeah.
Listen, one man, anytime you want to go, I have your back, okay? If it's Delta,
it's only because I'm just so timid. I want to visit so much in Nigeria, but I'm just.
You should.
I'm not built for.
Listen, if you go to the creek, let me recommend something that you have to try. It's called native soup or fisherman's soup. If you try that thing, your life will never be the same again.
Is it the head of the soup, the head of the fish, Abby?
No, we don't know fish head inside. Periwinkles, clams, shrimp, prawns, vegetables.
No wonder all your babes are so fresh over there.
Oh, one man, if you eat that food, we starch. Better starch. When you
that's the one thing that I don't understand. You people that eat starch or unripe banana, why do you eat unripe banana?
Ukodo, that's what Yoruba people call it. Yoruba people call it
It's
ukodo.
just not right. It's not right, is it?
No, it's not the plantain. And by the way, don't take my word for this. Look this up here. The unripe plantain is healthier for you than the ripe plantain. Look it up. No be me talk now, Oyinbo talk. But look it up. It's actually the amount of nutrients in that food. So our ancestors were onto something. They were onto something. But I wanted to just comment on some things my friend, the Honorable Rational Mind, said. I agree with most of what he said. Some of the things that I have questions about is, did he just nominate the Assistant Treasury who used to work for BlackRock to come and run Nigeria?
Yes, BlackRock, that the guns for hire.
Yeah, so that's there's another mercenary group called Blackwater. That's the guns for hire. BlackRock is probably one of these Wall Street most corrupt financial institutions that you ever encounter in the world.
When that qualifies in Nigeria is corruption.
Oh my God. Yeah. No. He will sell Nigeria to these imperialists before we know what's happening. Even ordinary water safe, they'll be charging the common people to buy.
Is Nigeria not already sold to themselves? I mean, the owners of Nigeria themselves. Not so that
well, the thing is, first, Rational Mind, I don't even subscribe to that owners of Nigeria thing. I'm sorry, but I disagree with you, because I don't think anybody owns my country. I'm sorry. I think these people, they are who they are. And I see them as the subjugators of Nigeria. They're the ones that have been the cabal that have been trying to keep power amongst themselves, serving the interest of European and American imperialists, so that way the average person in Nigeria can't come up. These are those people. I don't see them as owners.
The fate of Nigeria is usually decided rather by about 6-10 people, no more.
Yes, and they are the problem.
So they own Nigeria.
No, they are I call them the problem makers of Nigeria.
Well, there you are. Whatever you call them, they own it.
Yes, they don't own it. They're and I hate to say this, but the sooner they're no longer involved, the better it is for all of us. Because like all these criteria that the criteria you created for someone, let's be honest, one man, nobody can have every single checkbox you just listed.
Do you see a 40-something-year-old being president sufficiently rounded enough?
It go hard. It go hard. Because just factor, you know, it will be
we're
very
losing
hard.
You somewhat.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
It will be very hard. Can you now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, a little better, but I'm not. Carry on.
Okay, yeah. I was saying that it will be very hard because of the respect factor. You understand? I think, you know, that believe in this thing so much that they will look at the president and say, "This small boy."
Yes. That's what I was thinking before you said it.
What is he talking about? You go and tell a 70-year-old traditional ruler that, oh no, this is how it has to be. They'll say, look at this guy. Disrespect.
It will say, I was speaking to your father.
I was speaking to your father.
You know, I was speaking to your father when he came to pay me respect.
Exactly. Imagine me. I'm like me. For instance, I'm from the Creeks. I'm from the same ethnic group as Ike Clark. You know, Ike Clark will say this small boy that was changing his diapers. He's now telling me.
Now, I was there at the naming ceremony of your daddy.
Yes. That would be the problem. That would be the fundamental problem, in that you have all these people. The respect factor will be the issue. So I think, you know, it will be very, very hard. And because of that respect factor, the president will end up making more enemies than he should be making. Because
they'll just overrun him. They'll just
overrun him. Yeah, he will have to say no to some people that will take offense to him saying no. He would have to try to pass legislation that is going to affect some of these people who see him as a little small boy. What does he know? So, you know, in theory, yes, we can find people that will have the energy and the competence to try to make things happen. But in practice, my brother, the thing go hard though. You go hard in practice because
I cannot say a president under the age of 52 minimum.
Well, if I believe if we want a president around the age of 40, there are some qualities. I think someone's audio is echoing. Anyway, there are some qualities that were not mentioned. The president has to be cunning. The president has to have
cunning. Yes, we're not after Monfa. You want Hush Puppy?
No,
look at this guy. Hush Puppy for president. What are you talking about?
Because of the people that we are dealing with. I'm not saying cunning in a bad way. When you are going to fight
you want a 419 president. You want a 419 president. Look at this
let me land. When you are going to fight, let me give an example. When you are going to fight war, even if you don't like fighting people, even if you don't like killing people, you have to do it. It's the same way. He has to be prepared for the kind of people he's meeting. He has to have brute force. He has to be ready. This is what are the qualities of a leader. He has to know who he is and who he's dealing with. No doubt or no lies in their hearts and in their head. You know that these people are not going to respect you because of your age. You show them that power, where power lies. You make them
and you see all of that embodied in a 40-year-old man.
It is possible. It is possible in a 20-year-old man. It is possible in a 30-year-old man.
Look at that.
It just yes, anything is possible. But he has to have this.
But it's probable.
He has to. It is probable. It is probable. People in the past did it.
It's far-fetched.
People in the past did it. So what?
Yeah, that was during military regime, wasn't it? But anyway,
let me ask you this question. Do you think it's possible for a Yoruba man to become governor of Kanu?
It is possible. Why not?
My brother, come on now. Come on.
It is.
No,
You
it
think,
is
okay,
possible.
let me
It is possible
let me tell
legally,
you.
but it is not probable. That is it.
No, it
Possible,
is
but
very
not probable.
probable. If you understand the people, if
A
you
Yoruba
can
man
speak,
to become
yes,
Babatunde, governor
yes,
of
yes. If you can speak,
there's more chance of Ni Han Hun being the governor
okay.
than Babatunde.
But
Ni Han Hun.
you will not let me finish. You will
Yeah,
not
go
let
on.
me finish.
Go
If
No,
on.
my brother,
you can,
let me ask you this. My brother, let me ask you this. Do you think, okay, so I'm from Delta State. I grew up in Lagos, so I'm very, very familiar with Eko people and Yoruba. Do you think I can become a governor of Oyo State?
yes,
Well, you can be the governor of Lagos State, though I can see that, but not Oyo
No,
State.
one man, even Lagos. Lagos
you
that is
did not
No,
let
I
me
can see it.
finish now.
I can see it in Lagos, but not Oyo State. No, they will never happen.
I believe you can become the leader of, well, apart from the political hooligans that will try to talk you, if you can talk to the average citizen, communicate with them, let them understand you, let them follow your lead, then you can become governor of any state. It is
So
not a matter of where it is
will
not
vote for Babatunde to be his governor.
it is not a matter.
Mukhtar,
If they understand each
Musa,
other, why not?
Musa
If they
will vote for
understand each other,
Babatunde
why
to be
not?
his governor.
Yes, yes,
All right,
yes.
though, if you say so.
If you
But
can communicate with the average man, but
do you say that?
Nigerians do not try because they have put mental
My
limits.
brother,
Because you think something is not
wait.
because you think something is not possible, you will now not try.
My brother, I like how you're thinking. And honestly,
I'm not talking out of when I talk like this.
I'm
I'm
agreeing
not
with you.
talking out of. I'm not
I'm
talking. But
agreeing with you.
one man is not agreeing with me.
No.
And you will not let me finish.
Let me say this. I agree with you in the sense that that is where we should strive for. But my brother, in reality, and I'm telling you this from experience, in reality, that is far from where we are. And that is part of our
which reality? That is your reality. That is your reality.
I'm just okay. Give me one example. Wait. Okay, so give me
hold on. Danladi Mukhtar, governor of Imo State.
This is what I'm saying. These are the qualities I'm saying.
Hold on.
But you won't let me finish. You won't
know
let
what
me
you're
finish.
saying now, but nobody.
But you won't let me finish.
Go on and finish it.
This is why I said these are the qualities that you must have had before. If you are going to fight war, will you be carrying stick? You have to be cunning. You have to be 10 steps ahead of them. You know what they will do. Why not be prepared? Why not be prepared? Why pretend like they are not going to oppose you? Why pretend like they are not going to fight you back? Be prepared. If you are going for something like this, you should know what it takes. These are the elements of a leader. Not that because they are blocking the road. Because they are blocking the road, you will now turn back. No, you push forward. You push forward.
There's a stickability and there's foolhardiness. What you're talking about is being foolhardy. So describe to me how Danladi Mukhtar becomes the governor of Imo State. Describe that. Danladi Mukhtar.
I don't know who Danladi Mukhtar is.
No, that's just a fictitious name, just a made-up name. So Danladi Mukhtar from Borno, how does he become the governor of Imo State?
Previously on this podcast, I asked one of these someone that was pro Biafra. I asked them a simple question: if you have economic stability in the eastern region, they allow you to open your ports, they allow you to have everything. Would you want to stay in one Nigeria? He was pro Biafra, but he said he would prefer to stay in Nigeria. By the time you can provide the common man what he needs, by the time you have made the common man comfortable, by the time you have given them no reason for them to deny you, these are the qualities of a leader. Why should they not support you? Why would I support somebody from my tribe when he's showing me hell? When I can vote for Mukhtar from Borno that will show me heaven.
That tells me you don't know Nigeria. If Mukhtar from Borno, if he's able to turn Imo State into London, every single morning he turns up at every single home in Imo State with a van filled with their breakfast, lunch, and dinner of choice, and he provides the best school on the planet for them.
Okay, Okay.
Okay.
Somebody.
Okay, Tuku will vote for Danladi Mukhtar from Borno to be his governor.
Somebody in the comment section says that an infidel, non-Muslim, will not be allowed to govern Islamic city of Kanu, Mr. Soli. I will just lie that I'm a Muslim. Is it not just to get into the place? Yes. Yes, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is politics.
All right. Let's hear from
Exero. You don't let me finish. You don't let me finish.
No, you finish now. What you're saying is just what you're saying is
now. Wait now.
Not you are saying hands together. Yeah.
Totally listen to
you don't know how people play politics. You don't.
You do, Abi. Look at this guy.
I do because I've seen it. I've been there. Anything can be manipulated. Anything can be changed. As long as you get.
Okay.
No, it's calm.
I'm sorry if I may ask. I don't know your age, but I think you should calm down. You sound so naive.
It's not about being naive. I'm telling you the truth.
I know I listened to you yesterday. I've listened to you for a while, not just today. I've been listening to your comments for a while, and I just hope that
people please thumbs up. By the way,
people like one man will have the courage to call you by the side and advise you that Nigeria is not like every other country. In those other places where comedians can even become presidents, young people at the age of 30, they're already president. But in Nigeria, there's something fundamentally wrong with the system.
Okay.
That cannot
let me tell you one thing I've noticed.
Examples that you are giving. I'm sorry, you just have to wait. Okay. You gave instances yesterday. I listened to you. You had so much conviction. I liked your energy. But you see, at some point you find yourself standing alone with this because there are people who have had experiences they don't even want to talk about. Some people have gone into the politics of Nigeria trying to change things, but they find that they cannot. The system wouldn't just allow them. What you are saying is allowed. It is allowed. You are allowed to campaign, but you will not find it an easy task of not being an indigene.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is the problem that I'm saying. Why would you go into that kind of thing and be expecting it to be easy? This is the problem.
But it is allowed. This is the problem. In the law. It is allowed. It is allowed. But
this is the problem. You come into politics and you expect everything to be roses and be easy. Not when you are in Rome.
You play to reality. No, you play to reality.
This is reality. In reality, too, anything can change.
That is why
it is not reality. No.
If somebody does not start, it will never
be true. Reality that Danladi Mukhtar can be governor of Imo State.
And majority of these politicians do not count on the vote of the youth. They do not count on the votes of the youth.
You don't know what
it's easy for you to
I know what I am saying. I have worked for European government. I've been in Nigerian politics. So I know what I'm saying. Anything is possible. If a politician wants to make this possible, he will. He will. They just don't see it in their favor.
It's not possible. But it's not happening. Not in our generation.
Can I ask you a
that
question?
is your mental limit. That is your mental limit. You don't put your mental limit on everybody. You don't.
No.
If you believe that way, you should keep it to yourself. Let those who want to aspire. Let those who want to. We should be encouraging them, not telling them that it is. You are saying it is not realistic. You are telling.
No, I'm on your side. I like positive minds.
Okay, is it realistic?
I have argued with people like
Exero, hold on one moment. Nobody is saying it's not possible, but you said realistic. Is it realistic, Solly? I'm not saying is it possible.
Realistic. I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
I'm not talking about easy or not. Is it realistic?
Is realistic if someone tries.
Yeah, for Danladi Mukhtar to be from Borno to be governor of Imo State.
He may not see it as realistic because of tribalism.
This is where Ajale people will say,
but
hold it there.
Then that means there is no such thing as one Nigeria. It's just a facade. If Mukhtar cannot come to
Man, you can't.
An Englishman cannot be the whatever it is that they have in Ireland. It is not. It is legal, but it's not possible. It cannot be the leader in Scotland. It is legal, but it is not possible.
Yeah.
You know.
You find yourself wasting money.
The moment they know he's
like
English,
they
will stone him out of the space. It is. We're not saying it is not possible. It is not probable. It is not vested in reality.
Can I address this guy?
It is vested in reality. I will not agree.
Solly, right. You said you play politics in Nigeria. It makes me wonder, are you sure you know what you're talking about?
No, I didn't say I've played politics in Nigeria. I said I have been there. They did not send me to go and get drinks. You don't go and get drinks in governor's office. You don't go and get drinks in governor's office.
So what are you trying to say? Are you saying you play politics or you just what do you do?
No, I've been there. I've witnessed it. I've witnessed it from my youth. I've witnessed this. Yes, I was tagged along with my father.
Sorry, let me ask you one question. Just one question to end this.
I'm not.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Now, from the way you sounded, I can deduce that I don't know your age, but you sound.
No. His age is immaterial. No, he's an adult. You know.
Yeah, I know. But from the way he speaks.
No, but to the logic. To the logic.
Yeah, so just the logic. It sounds like it's. Something like it's too. It sounds like maybe you're
naive. He's naive.
Naive. I am not naive. I am not naive.
Hold on.
One thing I know.
Let me say this, Solly. You see, the thing you said, maybe in the year 20. 20.
You mean 30?
2090 or
2099.
Yeah, Nigeria is still like
maybe just before the second coming of Jesus.
One man, rational man. I think what's happening is difference in generational thinking, the mentality of generation. That's what I think. I think Soli's generation. I mean, they have each generational the way they interact, the way they experience is far different from you guys' generation. Those of us that are maybe late 30s, 40s, and 50s, because we grew up of witnessing ethnicity and all those things. But this generation, they are more among their peers. They are less tribal in a sense. Many of them grew up different. Tribal. Yeah, they are less tribal, very less tribal. Even if you look at that answer, no one expect. That answer situation, there's no way that our past generation would have done something like that, So I think the way he's seeing things is like he might have grew up in a different or lived in a different area away from his hometown, and the way So I think it's just a generational thing. That's what I think.
The thing is,
when I
naivety or naivety.
No, it is not on naivety. It is not on naivety. I agree with Mike. This is how my generation talks. This is how my generation sees things. This is how.
Let me say this to you.
If my generation should get into politics, they will shame your generation for all the things that you have allowed and all the things that you do not do.
You see,
easy.
Hold on. You see, your generation, as you put it, is a time in space, and that time in space is a continuum. You see, that time this space you occupy is a space that has been occupied 500-600 years by you and people like you. So it's a mindset that you will quickly evolve out of. It's optimism. Yes, optimism
is it realistic?
Yeah, but it's naivety. It's naivety.
But is it realistic?
No, it's not.
It is not naivety. If it is naivety, I will not. I can agree with that. But it is not naivety. If it is naivety, I will not understand what you are talking about, and I will not know what you are talking about.
No, you are reaching to the hope.
We can recall the National Assembly members, but do you know how difficult that is? And do you know that they try to recall
Dino Melaye? Yeah, they try to recall Dino.
Yeah. No, I'm not the one that said that.
They have to match there has to be about 70 to 80% people wanting to call him back. They have to match them against electoral records. They have to show that they are resident where they were resident on the the process of recalling somebody from Senate near impossible.
But
it is possible, but
let me reply what you are saying. You are saying because it is a bureaucratic process. It is not possible. Germany has more bureaucracy. More other countries have more bureaucracy.
Possible. I'm saying
you just don't have the vigor to continue with it. By the time Nigerians see small limits, they always give up. They always give up.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me hold you to that space. Okay, it takes about 60, 70, 80% of the constituency to of the at least the registered voters to recall somebody. So his constituency. So they have to put in writing that they want to recall him. Those people, they have to match with what is showing in INEC record. They have to verify that they are resident at that address. And then after they've gone through all of that process, the person that they're seeking to recall still has legal redress. So that whole process of achieving the criteria is an 18-24-month process. And then the legal input of this person is another weight in time and space. So you can just see the cumbersomeness and the lumbersomeness of it makes it near impossible. It is possible, but not probable.
Now I have a question.
That's reality.
How many percentage? How many percentage?
We can do it. We can do it.
No. It's just a question I have for you. How many percentage of the youth do you think know this information you just gave to me?
Well, they tried it on Dino and it fell apart.
No, but that's not the question I asked. I asked how many percentage of the youth do you think know this thing you just told me?
I wouldn't guess at it because it is not. It's a peculiar information.
Exactly.
It's not something that people should know.
Most it is something. This is the problem. It is something. I come to this platform.
How many people in the country you live in know the process of recalling their member?
No. Let me finish. Let me finish. But we are supposed. We want to know. Why do you think I come to this platform?
No, you only know when it's immediate to you. You don't know. Somebody was coming here yesterday saying that
you don't let me finish now.
Why should Nigerians?
You don't let me finish. We should know the Constitution. We should know the Constitution. We should.
You know how many pages there are in the Constitution?
It doesn't matter. Lawyers reach 20 books. Lawyers reach 20 books, 50 books. Did they die? No.
Baba should know the Constitution.
Yes. An average German man knows his rights down to the bone. What I'm saying is that wait now, you don't let me finish. You don't let me finish. No, it's not about naivety. I'm trying to communicate what the youth are going through. We want to know this information, but where will we learn it? I come to this platform to educate myself politically, not because I'm coming here to have fun. Once I learn from here, I go to communicate with other youth. Who else is going to teach me?
All right. I'm going to round off fairly shortly because my kids are being somewhat rowdy. So yeah.
So I don't have the time to talk.
Well, yeah, go on and talk then. But like I said, who is priority? You or my kids? What are you talking about? What is that?
Am I not your kid? Am I not your kid?
Yeah, are you my kid?
Am I not your kid?
Are you my kid?
You are father of 4 nations now.
Look at that. Go quickly to it.
Yes, one man. You know, I always come out. Sometimes I come out as rude when I make observations. You know.
No, don't worry.
Today's topic. It was speaking glowingly about the North, glowingly about this. And when it comes to the Igbo man, it was some disgusting news. Why? Sometimes when I see this kind of headlines, my spirit sinks, you know. Why
are you always speaking to that?
I know you're
not rubbishing Tinobu just now.
Yeah, please, let's not rubbish them. Let's just stick to things that are more important to us.
You've done that severally, though. Why are you so overly sensitive?
No, I'm not trying to change your topic. I'm not trying to change your topic.
You see,
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to change your topic. You are free to choose any topic you like. But I just tell you how it makes people like us feel. When we see the topic. Yes, an Igbo man. That's not the only thing about the Igbos during the week.
But you said you are not an Igbo man the last time, so you are now.
No, but I associate because I have two leanings. I have a Yoruba and Igbo leaning, and I would not want to.
What are you? I am a Yoruba man. What are you?
I'm a Nigerian.
Look at that.
See, that's the difference.
You see?
Yeah, because of the Nigeria we're living in today.
Are you ashamed of? You cannot be an Igbo man anyway because an Igbo man that we're living today.
Okay, that being said. There's a lot of discussion about the Igbos not fielding a candidate that is, in tune with the other sides of the country. I beg to disagree. Even today, I was watching the TV and I saw this young man. He's of Igbo extraction and he's vying for the presidency. He's very young, you know, and he cuts across generations. He can relate with both generations.
Who is he? Who is he?
I've forgotten his name. I think it was.
So that's the answer to everything, isn't it?
No. I'm just saying. I'm saying that because I'm hearing the likes of Soli now speaking to a particular voice. You know, it's not as if what Soli is saying is not right. We just know that it's not feasible. You know, if I'm just urging us, if we can look beyond APC and PDP, look outside the box. We have every man for himself, one man, one vote. If we believe one man, one vote, we can remove these two giant hydra-headed monsters from the picture.
But
you know,
you want to chase those crazy bald heads out of town.
Xero, what you just said now, Xero, can I say something to you? What you just said now, is it feasible, like you used the word? Is it something that can be done? Because I mean, the only two parties that has been speaking to the space now is PDP and APC. So what other party have we heard? Is it even the one of show or AAC? We've not heard anything about them. We don't even know what they're doing.
There was somebody that spoke something yesterday about
rational mind. They already hijacked Shore's party.
There was somebody that said something yesterday about voting against instead of for. I think we can vote against these guys instead of voting for them. Instead of choosing one between one of them, we can vote against. That's choose not to vote APC and PDP for a start, and then we can start getting it around. Oh, it's not feasible. It's not feasible than your idea, man. It's more feasible than recalling people. It's more feasible than
people will not vote APC. Let me tell you.
The market women, we have to convince the market women.
Let me tell you a psychological.
And these lazy youth, they don't even vote. These lazy youth, they just talk. They don't go out and
give us electronic voting. Give us electronic voting. We will vote. Yes. Okay. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why PDP
old market women, they work 5 months without vote. But these lazy youths, they want to sit in their living room and use electronic.
That's the biggest problem, you know, because Nigeria is a youth country.
It's a youth country, man. There's supposed to be the one voting.
Why are the youths then staying in their bed playing Xbox and complaining?
They will send their mothers to go and vote. Their grandmothers.
Well. See, this is what I'm saying.
20% of them
Big Boy Ninja.
This is what I'm saying. You
ignore the sense of entitlement.
You ignore the youth. If somebody really wants to win with numbers,
are you ignoring yourself? Is the thing? Are you ignoring yourself?
No.
It's a global phenomenon. It's all over the world. The youth just don't participate. They will talk, but they don't participate. Even in America, election, the young people don't vote.
They will use it as a day to go and do.
This is why I said when in Rome behave like the Romans. Okay, yes, majority of the people will not come out unless they see electronic voting. Then provide it. You can't change the narrative of the youth.
They don't want you to have power.
Exactly. That's the point.
So how are you then going to wrestle power from them? You want them to give it to you. Is this what you're saying? To give you power?
No. Then we have to start from where we are. We have to creep into politics little by little. No. The people interested in politics, they need the right knowledge.
You're eating from pan to fire.
They need the right knowledge. I'm telling you, if most of these youths know how to get into politics, if somebody is giving them the knowledge, before you know it, they will join. Even before the 2020
Let me say this to you. If you join APC, join PDP, and you are contesting with the likes of money bags, you're like, for even your local government chairman, or even your councillor, you're contesting against somebody who has been there before, who has the money bag, who has all the talks, who can rig election for him. How do you think that's going to be? I mean, a young man who joined APC or PDP is contesting against an incumbent that already is a mafia, is a warlord on his own. So how do you expect that to be?
Okay. Me too. I have a question for you. If you are going to fight war with people holding gun, obviously you hold gun. It's no. If that's what I'm saying, the quality of the leader. When in Rome, now you people don't let me finish. You people don't let me finish. But you don't let me finish. You don't know what I'm going to say at the end. Obviously, if you know if this is what we're discussing yesterday, if you know that you want to go for that role where people have thugs and people have money, you will make connections with people who also have thugs and money. Plain and simple. You play on their level. You will not just come and be acting like Sowore that wants to be a gentle. That wants to gentle.
You're not bringing change.
No. If you
what is Sonny talking
something,
about this guy?
Let me finish now. How you criticize me
We've been
mid
letting
conversation?
you finish, but you're not finishing. Go on.
You cannot. When in Rome, you behave like the Romans. You cannot come in like Sowore and be gentleman your way into the leadership role. You come and you fight with them tooth and nail. The same way they are fighting you.
Tony, I disagree with you.
Oh, hold on.
I disagree with you. You're not giving Sowore the chance. But now you're talking about young people. You have not given Sowore, who has come out, who has done everything.
Okay, should I tell you why the youth don't support him? He doesn't seem trustworthy. He seems kind of, it just seems like he's hiding.
So the ones we have right now, they are trustworthy.
Okay, now can I answer that question? It is better for the enemy. It is better the enemy you know than the enemy that you don't know.
Really?
It is better.
On, man.
Yes, the reason people
the liar that you know.
Wait now.
For your own reputation, I suggest
wait now. These things are psychological. These things are psychological. You said that nobody. Wait now. You said that nobody should vote in PDP or APC, but people who voting for what they see the most. It is just psychology. You buy what you see the most on the TV. It does not mean it is the best product. It is just what you've seen the most because your brain has decided to trust it just because it has seen it the most. That is all. This is how advertising works.
Vote against.
How will you vote against what you have already used? How will I vote?
So
it is not.
You are voting for what you are already used to suffering.
What are you proposing? Sorry, because I'm confused.
Me too.
You have to be cunning. You have to play these people. You have to let this old cabal. You have to. Yeah. I am proposing that you educate the youth. You educate the youth on how to get into politics. It is just like building a vocational school. Okay, you have all the universities in Lagos, but no jobs. But if you create vocational schools, people create jobs for themselves. It is the same thing. It is the same thing with politics. If you educate this youth,
when I say hold steady now. Do you think people want the youth to come into politics and take power? Do you think that?
No, I don't think so.
So why are you then saying that they should facilitate for them to come in?
I did not say the cabal.
They should build them. They should build them into space. Yeah.
You asked me a question that do I have a solution? You are talking like I'm saying the cabal should create. No, I am telling you the solution. Whoever can provide this solution is what we need. We don't need Sowore shouting revolution up and down.
One man. When they vote on
victory. Hold on, Mike. Let me give you a dose of reality, Solly. The Nigerian presidency is one of the most coveted seats in the world just because of the power that it holds. Everybody, from even Pa Adebanjo, if you say take the presidency, we take it. From the 90-year-old to the 19-year-old, they want it. So after Buhari, you have a lineage of Tinobu, Atiku, etc. Behind that, so those are in their 70s, thereabout. In the 60 bracket, you have people like Saraki, etc., etc. And then coming up behind that, you have the Yaya Bellos, etc., etc. There's a lot of people pushing for that space. Who amongst all of those, it has time to be facilitating for, give them the thing, teach them the technicals.
Don't mind them.
You have to go in and fight for it. It is not give us electronic voting.
We do not.
Why would they give electronic voting? They don't want you to be president. So you have to go and take it from them.
Yes,
Solly.
We don't need to start with presidency. We can start with local government chairman. We can start with governorship. We can start with senator.
By the time you get to the president, you are Buhari's age.
Let me ask you a question.
If somebody starts in their 20s, it doesn't need to be 60-year-old or 70-year-old to get presidency.
Solly, do you remember Ahmed Buhari? the guy who joined APC. He was the youngest candidate and he joined APC. Today, they have hidden him. He doesn't even exist. And he's still in that APC party.
Because he joined alone. If there were 50 of him that joined, would they have taken back the 50 of them? No. You know that they are going to do this.
50
so why did 50 of them not join?
Solly, can I say something?
Because they are not educated.
Solly, calm down. Let me say something to you.
How will they join when they don't know nothing about
Solly,
it?
let me give you a scenario. Yes. Let me give you a scenario here. See, I'll give you this scenario. I'll give this guy this. I'll give you this scenario.
So, Mike, you see, it's not a generational thing; it's a naivety thing.
It's naivety.
No, my own thing is.
Let me say this to Solly, please. Solly, let me say this to Solly. Solly, who is the youngest? I took a question I'm going to ask you. Who is the youngest governor in Nigeria today? Do you know the youngest governor?
I think Yaya Bello.
Do you know his age?
I think 40 something.
Okay, 40 something. So, but what has he done in? Do you know what he has done? He has accomplished in Kogi State.
Nothing really.
Mm-hmm. Now that is one. Now, do you know what is currently going on in APC? What is currently going on with the APC? The APC caucus and everything. Their youth.
You have to be specific because
now there is a tussle going on between the youth wing of APC and the establishment there, which is the people who host that party, like Bala, Buni, and their ESCOs and all of that. Now these so-called youths are trying to bring about some changes within the party, but they are facing a lot of tough resistance. So the point is this, what I'm trying to make out is this, you see, the Nigeria of today, maybe you're talking about a Nigeria of maybe 90 years from now, or maybe 100 years from now. What you're saying seems like it's just an idealist kind of view, which I'm not saying is bad, which I think it's possible, but maybe not today, not now. And so the point is, Nigeria, the way Nigeria is constituted right now, most of the things you're throwing out here, some of us look at it as, because a lot of us has even yearned for many things, even more than what you're talking about, but we never see it come to fruition in that country because the system is fashioned in a way whereby it works against everything.
Thank you, Rational Mind. You know, that is where I was going to. I didn't articulate it quite as much as, this space that Solly is occupying is a space that everybody, Fela Kuti occupied this space, Wole Soyinka occupied this space, you and I occupied this space. That space is occupied
those
now
people you mentioned,
by Solly and his bunch now. So they are not saying anything new. It's just the optimism of youth.
I agree with what you are saying. But every time I talk, I have always been hit with resistance. I am not saying there will not be resistance. I am saying be prepared for the resistance. A good leader should be prepared for resistance and have a plan to surpass it, no matter how tough, no matter how hard it is.
Ordinary answers.
I have never read Machiavelli in my life. I have never read Machiavelli in my life.
Okay, go and read it. Niccoli Machiavelli. Yes, go read that.
Hey, one man. One thing that always bother me.
You keep hitting me with resistance. I do not say there won't be resistance.
Who's
everybody is hitting me with resistance. Everybody is hitting me with resistance. Okay. Reality, resistance. Yes. Is it not possible to break over this reality?
What's reality?
It is possible. If you are smart enough, if you are cunning enough, and if you are divisive enough, you can surpass all these problems.
All right.
Let me say one thing real fast.
How did Nnamdi Kanu? How was he able to control the whole eastern part of Nigeria? Yes, there were some narratives that were not true inside, but he got the job done.
All right.
He got
let's
the
hear
job
from
done.
Mike, and then we make that the last word. So, Mike, you wanted to say?
Yeah. You know the thing that trips me a lot. Like when it's time to vote for BB Nigeria, you see like the Nigerian youth, like they go to vote in like tens of millions, like and that vote comes in within minutes. Like they, and I always wonder, you guys vote 20 million, in tens of millions, but the real issue in the country, how can you guys use that same energy to
they're
vote
just
for
lazy, aren't they? They want electronic voting. They want people to give them power. They want people to give them power.
But is this something so hard to ask for? Yes, I'm not arguing with you. You keep on telling me the things that I know, that the youths are lazy. I didn't say they were not lazy. I didn't say they were not coming out to vote. I didn't argue with you. You are just telling me the reality that I already know.
I've been trying to ask you one question for a while now, but you haven't given me a chance.
Go on.
And the question I want to ask you is, in theory, I agree with what you're saying. I think what you're saying is what we should all strive to attain, is what we should work towards, where ethnicity and religion doesn't matter, but who the person is and the kind of service they can provide is what champions their election to office. But the reality of it is, we are far from that goal. And I agree with you that it's not something that's going to come immediately. It's something we should fight for. I do agree with that. But right now, as we are, if you take the lay of the land and you take the what's happening, and you take exactly the case studies and what's going on at the moment, you cannot point to one example, which is what started our whole conversation about a governor being somebody, because Danladi becoming a governor in Imo State. If you can give me an example of someone who is a deputy governor, not even a governor right now, that's not an indigene of that state, I'll concede your point.
Well, I cannot point to anybody, but anything can happen at any time. 2 years ago, there was 2 years ago, there was no Sunday Igboho, and this kind of statements that you have been making would have sufficed. It would have been placed very well. 1 year later, there was Sunday Igboho. And how many months was this guy around for? How many months? And there was a lot of change. The youths are ready.
What
just
changed?
need someone to organize them.
What changed? What changed?
Was he not able to organize a lot of people to follow him in a short span of time? How many politicians can do that? How many politicians can do that without the support of each other? How many of them? There were a lot of people following him.
Is Showore now? It's just us internet noisemakers. Who cares about Sunday Igboho? Nobody cares about Sunday Igboho.
So why was Nigeria trying to get him if no one cares about him?
Because it constituted, they didn't want it to latch on to the Kanu narrative, so they then had two ethnic situations. So that's just
exactly.
Oh my,
it was a major problem for them. It was a major problem for them. Nigeria will not go after you if they don't see you destroying what they are doing. They will not.
One man, I think if Igboho and Kanu endorse one candidate, that candidate will win.
For the president?
Yes. For the president, yes. If both of them say,
I can say Kanu can move the east, but Igboho does not move Yoruba land.
Igboho does not move Lagos.
I just came out from Nigeria.
The youth
they were really for that guy, man. To the point where I forgot to even tell you, when I went to Nigeria, I ran into Gani Adams. I went to somewhere, so I went there. There were some youth that were trying to fight this
one man. How many youth do you talk to?
And when I asked them, they say it's because of you.
When I talk to you, look, hold on. I know people across all generational space, you know.
Yes, but they don't talk to you the same way I'm talking
interaction, to you. How do
you
know?
I am talking to you.
No. How do you know that? How do you know what conversations I have with people?
Because I believe so. I believe so. I choose to believe so from the replies you are giving me.
Well, no. I don't know anybody with your naivety, though. I know people, just, Xbox logic, but, all right. Thank you, gentlemen. A good spot to leave it. Sorry, you've had a bit of a grilling today, but don't worry. Maybe next time will be easier. So thank you, gentlemen.
It was not a grilling. It was not a grilling.
Don't worry. Next time I'll come for you, but today you get away with it. So thank you,
Me
gentlemen.
too, I will be prepared.
Always a delight in you. And do that. Don't let anyone overrun you, because they push people hard in this space. But the thing is, you
normal.
Have the right.
I am expecting
yes, you have the right to push back. The only thing I'm fussy about is language. So long as nobody is insulting people, then anything is fair game. So I'll leave it there. Carry conversation and within conversation. Say peace.